Hey, 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 Eric Arnold here in the politics barn with a political episode topic, Elon Musk and the Twitter deal, potential Twitter deal. I've done a little research on this and I thought, well, this is interesting to me. And one of our main focuses here in the political barn, probably the main reason we started making political episodes here rather than our normal sports handicapping, is free speech and censorship, which pisses me off. Nothing pisses me off than censorship, than somebody saying, you can't say that, or worse yet, forcing you not to say that because they take down your video or what have you. So I thought, this is interesting. I want to talk about this. So I'm going to. If you've missed it, Twitter, Elon Musk, I believe, is the richest man in the world. You know how that goes. That fluctuates depending on stock prices and what have you. But I think Musk is pretty, he's always going to be in the top three, I think. He just has that much money. I guess he's probably got, $100 billion, I'm guessing. Maybe more. Got my morning cigar here. Relaxes me. But, so he's shown an interest, I guess, in how Twitter works. He tweets. He's one of these tweeters. I think a lot of these stars, rich people, I mean, certainly not all rich people. I don't think Warren Buffett tweets, for example. But younger super billionaires or oligarchs or what have you, they like to tweet. Donald Trump likes to tweet. So even Barack Obama tweets occasionally. Whoop. So, Musk has made an offer to buy Twitter. He's expressed dissatisfaction with the company numerous times and has offered to buy the company for a premium over what the price is trading at currently. It's a publicly owned company. So what that means is, I own, I don't own, I own my little company. I'll leave it, no need to bring that into the discussion. I own a company. It's not publicly traded. I own it. So you can't buy it unless I choose to sell it to you. And I can sell it to you for whatever price I choose, if you agree to pay that. Well, publicly owned company, that's traded on the stock market. People take companies public to cash in, to get paid, to get billions of dollars. So you're now a billionaire. And then the public, or whoever owns the shares of the company, the shareholders own the company. Well, that's the case with Twitter. That Twitter is owned publicly. It has a board of directors, 11 people, that I guess basically make decisions on how the company is going to be run, and they're allowed to own shares of the company too. So Musk is going to the board of directors, that's the management, saying, I would like to buy your company. And they're going, well, that's strange. I don't know. We want you to buy our company. And he's offered a bunch of money to buy it. I think it's 40-some billion. I believe his filing with the Securities Exchange Commission was that he was going to put 20 of that up himself, just write a check, here you go, here's $20 billion, and borrow the rest, which sounds reasonable to me. I mean, in other words, if you buy a house and you put 50% down, that's, it's pretty secure. You're getting pretty good collateral in the deal. So seems reasonable. He's putting 50% of his own money up in cash. So I think that's kind of reasonable. And it's a premium of about, 20% over what the stock is currently trading at. So the shareholders probably are pretty motivated to have Musk buy the company because they're getting something for their money. One thing I did not realize about this Twitter deal is the performance of the company, stock price wise. I just assumed that Twitter would be priced into the stratosphere. In other words, Twitter is an incredibly powerful company that has basically a monopoly on the tweeting, on the public square. I believe that's Musk's term. There is no other really alternative, really. So you could argue Twitter has elected two different presidents. It elected Trump through his love of tweeting, which brought him to the public eye, enabled him to easily win the Republican nomination because every time he would tweet, the news media would amplify it 50 times. Oh, Donald Trump tweeted something. Let's cover that. And then elected Joe Biden by deplatforming Trump, basically. And anything that would be pro-Trump, Twitter then would just shove that into a corner. And that very much helped Joe Biden get elected. So it's an incredibly powerful platform politically. But they make no money. This shocks me. They were taken public in 2014. I believe their IPO price was in the 40s when they went public in 2014. And now in 2022, the stock is trading at almost the exact same price. There's been no stock splits in there. It's apples to apples. How is that possible? That's where I'm at with this. How is it possible that you have a tech monopoly and didn't make any money? Well, that's a rhetorical question. I think the answer is that company's not being run to make money. That company's being run to accumulate power and to influence the public and political discourse in a leftist, liberal, whatever authoritarian manner. That they're not interested in making money. They don't care about the shareholders. That's the only conclusion I can come up with, how you could have a company that's a monopoly, a tech monopoly, and make no money. So the shareholders under the current management have been getting screwed and tattooed. And so now here Musk comes along and says, I can do better. I can do better. I think this is a great thing for us, the conservative. I'm a libertarian. Well, I got to stop saying that. I'm no longer a libertarian. I have libertarian leanings. I'm now a registered Republican. Oh my God! Yeah, well, you got to play the game because the primaries are coming up here in Pennsylvania. And if I want to play, if I want to have any kind of say over who's going up against the Democrats in the fall, I got to be a Republican. It's not an open primary system here in Pennsylvania. You Democrats vote for the Democrat primary, Republicans vote for the Republican primary, and the Libertarians, with which I was up until about a week ago, we would vote in the Libertarian primary. I don't even know if we have candidates. So there's no one for me to vote for, and even if there was, they're going to have no chance in November. So, I need to weigh in here on Dr. Oz and the Pennsylvania Senate primary, which is very important, almost as important as the governorship. So two very important races of which I want to vote in. So now I'm a Republican. I don't know, I'll stay one. I could go back after the primary. At any rate, it's important for us conservatives, us Republicans, us libertarians. We're being shut up right now. We're being neutered. We're being censored. Twitter is one of the main offenders. Certainly Google and YouTube is another main offender. And then throw Facebook in there too. So we want to have our say. I don't know that Musk is any sort of conservative or freedom-loving hero. I'm sure he has his own agenda. Frankly, his agenda could be simply to make money, which I think would just be fine for us people on the right. I debated this with Earl Carey last night, and he said, well, what if it's like Fox News, where, they sort of say, they're on the conservative side, but they're not really, and they stick it to us all the time. I'm like, I don't know that Fox News ever did anything other than do what they say they're going to do. They're supposed to be fair and balanced. So if that's true, that means they occasionally have to take the liberal side of an argument. Otherwise, or at least run stories that show the liberal perspective on things. They can't just be like MSNBC, where there's the authoritarian viewpoint, and that's all there is. And the authoritarians are always right, just like the Orwell quote. History is stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party, that'd be the Democrats, is always right. So I'd be just fine if Musk wanted to run Twitter like Fox News, which prints money, by the way. It's a privately traded corporation, Fox News. But I think it is. I'm not even sure about that, but I think it is. At any rate, so I don't know exactly what Musk plans to do. As of this morning, it almost sounds like Twitter is the board initially, this was like a terror to them that, oh my God, this non-communist is going to buy us, this non-radical leftist. He's just slightly right of us. He might be just a moderate, maybe. He wants to buy us. Oh my God, the world's going to end. But now it almost sounds like they're caving in. And Twitter's going to allow Musk to buy the company. I don't know. I'm still a little dubious that they're just going to fold their tents, because Twitter is incredibly powerful. This is a big deal if Musk actually is able to, A, buy the company, and B, make some kind of substantive changes. I mean, for example, I already told you, Trump basically won in 2016, largely because of his Twitter account. I believe that. I think the facts back that up. If they re-platform Trump, it makes him much more powerful. Let's face it, Trump's got his own little platform, and he's going to be able to say what he wants on his own little platform, but he's speaking to the choir over there. The only people that are signing up for Trump's platform are Trump people, the MAGA, hardcore MAGA people. He's not going to be able to reach the other 70% of Americans unless he's on Twitter. Twitter's still the monopoly. That's where you need to be to have that reach. So if Twitter reactivates him, I think he'd be making a huge mistake just to say, I got my own platform and I'm going to stick over here. And I don't think he'll do that. I think he will be active on both platforms. And it'll increase his power. It'll increase his chances of winning. Any Republican candidate, just the fact that Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook basically silences any kind of conservative thought or opinions, it's got to be worth, I'm thinking, at least 3 to 5 points in any kind of election. In other words, you take a 50-50 election normally, where half the country wants a candidate Biden and half the country wants candidate, I don't know, let's just say Eisenhower. And they go ahead and say, all right, well, now we're going to shut up everything Eisenhower says. And any kind of contrary arguments that he may have towards Biden's authoritarianism, we're just going to silence him. Well, it's going to end up 55-45 Biden. That's how powerful the censorship that goes on with big tech is in this country. That's what I believe. What do I know? I'm just a political science major, a history major. I followed politics for 30 years. What do I know? But yeah, it's incredibly powerful. So now to have an outlet, to have one of the big tech platforms flip, now the Democrats are where we were in the span of a few months. In other words, well, we'll just have to get our own platform going. It only took Twitter, 20 years to establish their monopoly, as if we're going to get a conservative alternative going to Twitter in 6 months. It takes years. It takes years. And we're fighting an existing monopoly, so it takes even longer than that. When Twitter built its monopoly, the playing field was empty. There was nobody repressing it. There was nobody holding it down. They were able to just get up there and run through the open spaces. Trying to build a competitor to a monopoly is damn difficult because a monopoly holds all the power. It has the power of the regulators. It can use the regulators to crush competition, which it does. So very difficult. So all of a sudden now, the Democrats are where the conservatives were, say, yesterday. It's like, holy shit, what if we're deplatformed? What if we're censored now? Now, I hope Musk doesn't do that, and I don't think he will because he hasn't said that. He's of the mindset of, I just want you to be able to say anything that's legal. If you can say it in the street, you should say it on Twitter. Oh no, hate speech is coming back. Disinformation. Nothing drives me more crazy than whose disinformation? Whose? Who decides what's disinformation? Earth Day just happened, right? Earth Day. So on Earth Day in 1970, you know what? Everybody was running around. The sky was falling. Look out. You got to be aware of this. A new ice age. A new ice age. In 1970, they were worried about a new ice age, which of course didn't happen, isn't going to happen. But was that disinformation in 1970? So that's the sort of thing that when they're running around and the pandemic just started in 2020, and everybody said, that's kind of weird that China has this level 4 biolab in Wuhan, the city of Wuhan, and the virus got rolling in Wuhan. Shazam, that's weird. Maybe it came out of the lab. That was disinformation. Until the government decided, you know what, maybe that is what happened. Then suddenly disinformation became information. So is it disinformation until the government sanctifies it? That's crap. That's not the government's role to determine what speech is official and allowed and which speech is disinformation. That's bullshit. That is not what this country was meant to be. So Musk has the right idea. Just let the ideas go, let the information go, and the good ideas will win out and the bad ideas will be put in the corner. That doesn't mean every bad idea will be dismissed forever. Sometimes a bad idea today, 3 weeks from now, might become a better idea. It's like, well, that's not a good idea now, but circumstances have changed in 3 weeks, and now maybe this is something we want to look at. So free speech is always the way to go. Anybody that ever says, well, now we need to limit, and then they list their limits, they're authoritarians, and they're not good people. Those are people that don't understand what this country was founded upon. Barack Obama, running around saying, well, we need to limit the speech that's out there. Him and Hillary Clinton, I guess, just gave a speech, a week ago, detailing all the limits they think that should be on public speech. Oh, you mean like the Russian hoax? That Hillary, she's running around for 2 years, ginning up that official investigation on Donald Trump with the Justice Department. And it was all bullshit. It was all lies. But all that was not, at the time, disinformation. That was all an official, accepted narrative. And if you were over here going, I'm not sure any of this happened. I don't think Trump colluded with the Russians. This is nonsense. You were labeled a conspiracy theorist. Disinformation. So you should just be able to say whatever the hell you want to say and let the good ideas win out. The people with the facts, the people with the receipts to back their ideas up, they're going to win. And the people that are just spouting nonsense and making shit up, they're going to lose. So hopefully that's where Musk is going if he is able to get control of the company. It's a really good thing. This is a very good thing for, I think, everybody, but particularly people that are for limited government, freedom, free speech. It's going to help the Republicans defeat the Democrats in elections. It absolutely is going to help them do that. So, we'll see where it goes. I've got my fingers crossed. That Musk isn't going to just, this was just a dalliance, just a flight of fancy. I was never really serious about, pulling. That's a lot of money, even for a guy like Musk. So, I do think there is profit potential there with Twitter. Like I said, how in the hell can you have a tech monopoly that's that powerful and make no money? There is a huge profit potential there if that company was run with the goal of making money in mind. Facebook makes money. They print money hand over fist. Facebook is not just totally run to sway public opinion one way or the other. Zuckerberg actually does care about making a buck here or there. So you could run it just like that, and the censorship would be somewhat, but it would be less than it is now. And then Musk would make some money. So, there's no guarantee this is going, Twitter under Musk is going to be some conservative free speech paradise. But I don't see how he could possibly run it any worse, where the censorship could be any more restrictive than it is now. Good, great, thanks. That's all I got for you. So we'll talk again as issues arise that I care about. And hey, the primaries are coming up here in Pennsylvania, the 17th of May. I haven't decided who I'm going to vote for yet, so I'll probably have a little episode. Information on the candidates is so sparse. You really got to dig to try to figure out who's who, what's what, who we're going to vote for, who we're going to run up against some formidable Democrat candidates in the fall. So we'll see. But we'll talk again. Eric Arnold. Hey, I believe in free speech, and we'll see you later.